Hey you guys, this is J5Lover, your #1 Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson fan, and I am super excited to be here with you today to talk about one of my favorite subjects, the fashion of the Jackson 5. But before we get started, I'd like to talk to you about this day in Jackson 5 history. Well, this day in Jackson 5 history, July 15th, 1972, the single Looking Through the Windows / Love Song enters the pop charts at number 16, and it stays there for 10 weeks. An amazing amount of time, and I love both songs. The Jackson 5 have had such an influence on me over the years, and their fashion was pretty much the first style that I ever noticed as a child, and it made me want to buy the most colorful, psychedelic, bright, vintage 70s stuff I could get my hands on, and I did. As you guys can clearly see, I am such a huge fashionista. Love vintage clothing and vintage style. In the beginning, the Jackson 5 actually wore a lot of clothes that their mother had made, and they even helped her make some of their stage outfits. And Michael Jackson himself even talks about putting rhinestones by hand into his clothing and how much the little prongs on the rhinestones hurt his hands so much that his fingers actually bled. Crazy, I know. And their first special that they did, Hollywood Palace with Diana Ross, they're actually wearing the outfits that their mother had made. So that was kind of their first suits that you could see them wearing. And after that, when you see them on the Ed Sullivan Show, Motown had hired Suzanne DePass, who was their creative assistant and helped them kind of polish their image. So Suzanne DePass would buy a lot of off-the-rack clothing for the Jackson 5. And I love their outfits, of course, you know, the fringe vests, the brightly colored shirts. She had very great taste. Nobody, I swear, nobody should ever minimize Suzanne DePass's job. She had a lot on her hands, and she did such a great job. Shout out to Suzanne DePass. In 1971, the Jackson 5 were beginning to be styled by a designer called Boyd Clopton, one of my favorites. Actually, that's kind of what this is, kind of a Boyd Clopton-inspired style. Boyd Clopton was from Venice Beach, which you can totally see that in his styles, because Venice Beach has a very hippie kind of edge. It had back in the 60s and it still does today. And, you know, he chose a lot of bright and bold colored prints, and he put them all together into one ensemble and one outfit for the Jackson 5. And you could see that in their clothes in the early 70s. I just love his work. His outfits, I think, are my very most favorite of the Jackson 5. In fact, I wanted to show you guys something today. I have a piece of material from Michael Jackson's outfit, one of the Boyd Clopton outfits. Now, he wore this particular shirt on the Diana Ross special show in 1971. I love that shirt, one of my favorite outfits, so it's really such an honor just to even have a little piece of material from that outfit. Boyd Clopton also created clothing for stars like Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, and Mick Jagger. And like I said, I just love his fashion sense. Very brightly colored, poppy, eye-catching multi-prints. You can see Boyd Clopton's styles on shows like Going Back to Indiana, the Diana Ross special, the Flip Wilson show. So many things to be said about the fashion of the Jackson 5, seeing as there were so many Hollywood costumers at the time who they did wear. Another costumer was Joe Cotroneo, who was famous for dressing people like Clark Gable way back when in old Hollywood. Joe Cotroneo's fashion designs can be seen on the Jackson 5 1972 special, as well as Michael Jackson sporting his outfit on the Oscars in 1973 when he sings Ben. I love that outfit, one of my favorites for Michael. And there was another designer that stepped in around 1973 named Ruthie West. She designed a lot of the Jackson 5 clothes. It kind of gave them that sort of Vegas kind of polyester rhinestoned 1970s look. So cool and awesome. You could totally see her designs on, you know, a lot of the TV show appearances back in the mid-70s, Soul Train, the Carol Burnett show. West designed a lot of clothing for performers back in the 70s, including the Fifth Dimension and the Temptations. And you can kind of see her influence, like I said, sort of in the mid 70s, around 73 to about late 70s, 77, 78. And by then, another designer came into the Jacksons' spectrum. You can see his designs clearly, Bill Whitten, and was discovered by Neil Diamond in 1974. And he did a lot of clothing for celebrities like Elton John and the Commodores. And Bill Whitten's style was so glitz, so bling, so in your face, so glam, so rock star. He definitely produced some of my favorite fashions for the Jacksons. Destiny, Triumph, and Victory tours. And it's so cool to see. I love his fashion. I mean, and when the light shines on those clothes, watch out. In 1979, Bill Whitten even made Michael Jackson's iconic white glove, as well as his iconic white rhinestone socks. The 1984 red jacket that Bill Whitten designed for Michael Jackson for the American Music Awards. That jacket was so iconic, and not only that, I feel like it made Michael look like a star. That glitz, that bling, that shine. One thing that I do own by a member of the Jackson family, which I wanted to share with you guys today, is this. It's a purse that belonged to LaToya Jackson, I guess like in the late 70s or early 80s, came from the Pleasure Dome. I got this online a few years ago, and I was lucky enough to catch it while it was there, and it's just such a nice piece. But I would still really love to own a piece of Jackson 5 clothing, or a Michael Jackson shirt, or something that was kind of infamous, for sure. Thank you guys for joining me today. I really enjoyed doing this fashion video. It is one of my favorite things to talk about. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe. And also you can follow me on Instagram. The link's in the description below. If you guys want to talk more about, the fashion of the Jackson 5, or, tell me what your favorite outfits were, or your favorite era of their dressing was, let me know down at the bottom in the comments. It was so great to talk to you guys today. See you next time.